to talk about abundance and like cultivating an abundant mindset. But before we can do that, let's talk about the fact that abundance is everything. Like all there is here around you is abundance. That's all that there is. Because everything is energy and energy expands. Okay? So every abundance is what exists in this reality. So let's talk about abundance not being something that you create because it already exists. It is everything. Abundance is awareness. Abundance is when you hear somebody say, I need to cultivate more abundance in my life, what they're actually saying is, I need to become aware of the abundance in my life. So abundance equals awareness, and that's really all that it is. It's so much easier to cultivate an abundant mindset than it is than people think. Because you're not creating abundance. You don't have to be a magician and create abundance. Abundance is what exists. Your job is to be able to tune into it. Your job is to be able to see all of the abundance around you so that the mindset that you're cultivating is to see and stay aware of the abundance around you. So what I mean is, if you were to say, nothing good ever happens to me, then you have an abundance of nothing good ever happening to you. And the reason that you have that is because you are aware of nothing ever happening to you. Nothing good ever happening to you. So if you can create an awareness towards anything, then whatever that thing is, it becomes abundant in your life because it's abundant in your awareness. So how do you cultivate an awareness of the abundance that you want? Right? Because we don't want an abundance of nothing good happening. We don't want that. It's there for you if that's what you choose to tune into. But that's not what we want. We don't want that. We want to be able to feel abundant and become aware of the abundance of money, the abundance of health, the abundance of peace, of joy, of love, of fun, of luck, of opportunity, of the things that really feel amazing. That's what we want an abundance of. So then that's what we need to cultivate an awareness around. Do you see what I mean? The abundance is there. Your job is to create awareness around it. And you can become abundant in anything you want. In millions, in negative money, in millions, in, what is the word I'm looking for? Poorness, in lack, in millions, in, I'm thinking of a word and I can't find it. Scarcity. That's the word I'm looking for. So, depending on your awareness, you can find abundance in millions or in scarcity. It's up to you. This is the benefit and the joy of getting to live this human experience, is that you get to decide everything you want in your life. You get to decide how you respond to things, how you react to things. You get to decide the meaning that you give everything. Two people can have the exact same experience. One person gives it a positive meaning and enjoys it, and another person gives it a negative meaning and doesn't enjoy it. The experience didn't change. The meaning you gave it changed, and that's what changed it for you. And that's a beautiful, powerful part of being human. Creating your life on purpose, choosing what you experience abundance in. How great is that? But what happens is we get pulled away from ourselves. We get stuck into, creation loops that don't support how we want to feel and what we want to do. A creation loop is thinking, feeling, doing. Your thoughts inspire your Your thoughts create your feelings inspire your actions create more thoughts, which create more feelings, which inspire more actions, and now you're in a loop, right? That's the creation loop. And the neat thing about the creation loop is that it works both ways. So you can take an action or move a certain way, and that will create a certain feeling, and that feeling will inspire a thought. And that thought will create more feeling, and that feeling will create more action, and now you're in a loop. But this time you're in control of the loop. This is what neurosomatic training is all about, using the body to train the mind, which is what I love about yoga, because a practice in yoga is really just a practice in neurosomatic training, is really like practicing using your body in order to generate a feeling, in order to cultivate thoughts and create habitual thoughts that support how you want to feel. So anyways, being able to become aware of your abundance is step number 1 in experiencing the kind of abundance you want to experience in your life. And here's how you do it. Okay, here's how you do it. The first thing you've got to do is to recognize what thoughts you're thinking most of the time. Right? What are your dominant thoughts? What is your dominant inner dialogue? And if you can start to become aware of your inner dialogue, then you can begin to choose your inner dialogue on purpose in order to generate a different feeling, in order to inspire new actions. And so here's what I mean. Most of our thoughts are outside of our awareness. So this is the benefit of having an automatic brain or a subconscious mind, is that your subconscious mind or your habitual brain is knowing how to do things, is participating in creating these and sustaining these neurosynaptic loops, which are beliefs or thoughts or certain movement sequentials in the brain. And your subconscious mind, your habitual mind, knows how to keep them fired and wired. And so that's why you're able to walk without thinking about it. That's why you're able to talk without thinking about it. That's why you're able to drive the car without thinking about it. I mean, if you try to really tune into it, there is so much that you do all day, every day, that you're not paying attention to how you're doing it. You're not paying attention to how you're doing it. All right. So you know why? You don't have to, because your automatic brain knows how to do it almost better than your conscious attention. And so a lot of times if you're stuck outside of an abundance awareness that you're choosing, meaning you're accidentally hyper aware of scarcity. So you have an abundance of scarcity, but that's not the kind of abundance you're choosing on purpose. That means that somewhere in your automatic brain, you've got a habit of thinking that is firing and wired and firing all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that is creating some kind of an inner dialogue that focuses your awareness on scarcity. Do you know what I mean by that? That focuses that thought, that inner dialogue that's going all the time, because your habitual brain, your automatic brain, your subconscious mind, whatever you want to call it, is doing it for you. It's a habit of thought, meaning you're not consciously choosing it anymore. It is just going all the time, constantly, creating a focus and awareness on scarcity. And that's why you are experiencing an abundance of scarcity. So if you would like to change what you are habitually focusing on, you've got to become aware of what you are habitually thinking. What those inner dialogues are. What are they saying? You know, I think the research says that we have something like 90,000 plus automatic habitual thoughts running through our mind every single day that are outside of our conscious awareness. I mean, can you imagine? So that's 90,000 thoughts that you're having that are choosing your focus, that are directing your focus, that you're unaware of. So you're just living your life always focusing on the abundance of scarcity and not really knowing why. You don't really understand why, that you've got this inner dialogue that's saying things inside of your brain, directing your attention. Things like, oh, there's never enough. That's never going to work. This, nothing ever happens for me. I'm so unlucky. I don't have this and I don't have that, and I'm never going to have this and I'm never going to have that. That's what's happening. And that's why your attention is being directed towards scarcity, the abundance of scarcity. So then choosing the kind of abundance you want to experience in your life means first, you've got to become aware of your inner dialogue and change it. You've got to start thinking thoughts on purpose. So using your conscious attention to think the kinds of thoughts that will direct your attention where you want it to go. In yoga, we call this mantras. The Sanskrit word mantra is broken into two pieces, mantra, and man means mind and tra means vehicle. So mind, vehicle. Your mantras, what you're choosing to think on purpose or say on purpose, drives your attention. So we use thoughts and mantras and sayings in order to stay focused on the abundance we want to experience. That's step number 2. So if you are in the habit of focusing on the abundance of scarcity, I want you to start asking yourself, if I was focused on abundance, what thoughts would I be thinking? Well, a great way to start is to think, well, what thoughts was I thinking about scarcity, and just reverse those. So if you can start to really tune into your inner dialogue and ask yourself, in moments where you feel scarcity, in moments where you feel that lack or longing or wanting, which really just means you're focused on not having it, right? Ask yourself, in this moment, what was I just thinking? If you ask your brain a question, it will answer you. So ask your brain, in this moment that I was feeling scarcity, what was I just thinking? Your brain will answer you. Your brain will say, you were thinking, that's never going to work. Those things don't happen for you. You'll never have enough, whatever it is. And then write it down. And then you look at what you wrote down and say, okay, these are the automatic thoughts that I'm in the habit of thinking, so it's outside of my awareness because it's a habit, right? I'm in the habit of thinking these thoughts about the abundance of scarcity, and then you just reverse them. If it's nothing like this can ever happen to you is one of the scarcity thoughts, then you say, all good things happen to me, and you write that down. If it's I never have enough, then you write down I always have more than enough. Whatever the scarcity thought was, reverse it and write it down. And now you consciously focus on it. Consciously focus. You use it. It's your mantra. You say it all day, every day. I think Louise Hayes is the one who said, if you want to change your life, change your thinking, and she wrote a book about it. And her mantras, she repeated over 400 times a day. Because that is how habits are created. So if you want to develop a habit or a habit of thinking, or in other words, a belief, because that's what a belief is, it's a habit of thinking, then first you've got to reach the automaticity point. You've got to say it enough times over and over and over again and develop the repetition required for your automatic brain to pick it up and say, got it, I'll take it from here. And it's thinking that thought for you automatically, 24/7, 365 on your behalf. And now it's directing your attention towards the kind of abundance you want to experience. So towards, an abundance of health, an abundance of wealth, an abundance of energy, an abundance of opportunity, of ideas, of resources, of always having more than enough. And that's how you choose to direct your thinking towards abundance. So remember, the main thing I want you to take away from this is that you live in abundance. This is an abundant universe. This world is made of abundance, and that's because it's energy. This is an energetic world, and energy expands. So then your job isn't to create abundance. You are abundant, period. In any way you are choosing abundance, you are abundant. So then your job is to direct your thinking towards the abundance you want to experience. So if you are experiencing an abundance of scarcity, you want to experience an abundance of millions of health, wealth, wisdom, ideas, opportunities, and resources. That's where you focus. So then what you do, just to recap, is you ask yourself in moments of scarcity, what was I just thinking? Your brain will answer and you write it down. Then you look at it and with your conscious awareness, you reverse it. You turn that scarcity into abundance, into more than enough, into everything you've ever wanted. You write down your new thoughts, your new mantras that will point you in the direction you want to go. And then you repeat it over and over. It's your mantra. You say it all day, every day. Hopefully you can somehow say it 400 times a day. And soon it will reach automaticity and you won't even have to try. Your automatic brain will just think those thoughts for you automatically. You will be in the habit of feeling the abundance you want in your life. And that's how you do it. It's all about directing your focus and choosing things on purpose. This is why you're a creator, and this is how you tune in to the kind of abundance you want to experience in your life. This is how you create anything you've ever wanted. It's already there. Your job is to tune into it. And this is how you tune into that. I'll see you soon.